Back in the late 90s and early 2000s, DiMarzio's Air Norton and Steve Special pickups were a staple of my guitars as I created music that would end up on my first album called The Master Plan. So today I'm returning to those pickups after more than a 20-year break to find out, does this classic 90s pickup pair hold up? For testing, I've put them in my Charvel Japan DK24. I'm going to go and create a little piece now with some rhythm and lead parts. Then I'll come back to give you some isolated tones and deliver my thoughts. Let's do it. The Air Norton and Steve Special pickups were both introduced in 1995, the same year that John Petrucci launched his first signature model with Ibanez. Besides the JPM models, Ibanez also started putting these pickups in selected RG models in the J Custom and Prestige lines in the 90s to the early 2000s. So they were a popular combo in that prog rock revival fused with metal and shred guitar. For drive tones in this video, I'm using my Kemper with a Victory Kraken profile. The first thing I noticed coming back to the Steve Special as a bridge pickup is the EQ profile is much better suited to this position for my taste than the Duncan full shred that was in here before. I didn't have to dial out the upper frequencies, and I could use a pretty flat EQ on the amp instead of having to save custom variations of my presets just for when I use this guitar. In the demo song, to have more spread and cut for the mix, I doubled the parts, panned them full left and right, and added some post EQ. So one side has a very small cut at 5 kHz and the other a slight kick at 10 kHz. But back to pickup sounds. Taking that rhythm sound and adding a little more drive and some delay, you get a pretty sweet and balanced lead sound that I find great for legato lines. In the neck position, the Air Norton is very balanced with just a tiny bit of roll off in the highs. I'll play some clean stuff in a minute, but let's keep the drive on just to compare it to the Steve Special. With my lead tone, the Air Norton gives a very glassy sound with plenty of character and clarity for fast picking lines. I think the pretty level EQ has a lot to do with that compared to the boosted bass and treble of the Alnico 2 Pro that was here before. didn't use any clean tones in the demo song, but let's have a listen to some dry and wet using tones from an AC30 profile from STL Tones. With the wiring of this guitar, I have it set so that the middle position is actually the inner coil of both humbuckers rather than the middle single coil pickup by itself. Without dumping on the pickups that were in this guitar before, I've really enjoyed this pickup swap out, and it's been fun looking back at tone elements that were a big part of my sound years ago, especially in the context of where I am as a player now. So I definitely think this classic 90s pickup pair holds up. The Air Norton is a no-brainer for me. I'd happily put this in any neck humbucker position, but particularly on 24 fret guitars where the pickup is located a little closer to the bridge. The Steve Special works a treat on this Charvel as well, so if you have a DK24 or something like it, put it on your radar. If your current guitar sound could actually do with maybe a little more lower and upper mid focus, try also looking at the Petrucci Dreamcatcher humbucker and also the Tone Zone, which is another classic pairing with the Air Norton in many guitars even today. Big shout out to DiMarzio and Australasian music suppliers AMS for helping me do this tone test today. I'll see you for another one very soon, but before you go anywhere, watch another video.